He is 61 years old. He wears a black leather jacket to every event. He delivers product launches like Steve Jobs, with dramatic pauses and one more thing moments. Jensen Huang is the most powerful CEO in technology. He runs Nvidia, the company that makes the chips powering artificial intelligence. His net worth is over $100 billion. But Jensen's path was not easy. Born in Taiwan, he moved to America as a child. His parents sent him to a boarding school in Kentucky that turned out to be a reform school for troubled teens. He cleaned toilets. He was bullied. But he learned resilience. After college, he co-founded Nvidia with $2,000 in savings. For decades, Nvidia was a niche player in gaming graphics. Jensen bet everything on a vision. GPUs could do more than graphics. They could power AI. He invested billions when nobody believed him. Now every AI model runs on his chips. Google, Microsoft, Meta, Amazon all depend on Nvidia. Jensen Huang saw the future when everyone else was blind. This is the story of the leather jacket visionary who built a $3 trillion empire. Let us rewind to 1963. Jensen Huang is born in Tainan, Taiwan. His birth name is Jensen Huang. His family is not wealthy. Taiwan in the 1960s is still recovering from decades of conflict. Opportunities are limited. Jensen's parents, like many Taiwanese families, dream of America. When Jensen is 9 years old, his parents make a difficult decision. They send Jensen and his older brother to live with relatives in America. The goal: better education, better opportunities, the American dream. The boys arrive in Tacoma, Washington. But there is a problem. The relatives cannot care for them full-time. A decision is made to send the boys to boarding school in Kentucky. The school is Oneida Baptist Institute in Oneida, Kentucky. Jensen's parents think it is a prestigious boarding school. It is not. Oneida Baptist Institute is a reform school for troubled teenagers, kids who have been expelled from other schools, kids with behavioral problems, kids from broken homes. Jensen Huang, a shy 9-year-old from Taiwan who barely speaks English, is thrown into this environment. The experience is brutal. Jensen shares a room with an older boy who has a knife. He is bullied. He is homesick. He does not understand why he is there, but he adapts. He learns English quickly. He makes friends. He discovers something about himself. He is resilient. He can survive anything. One of his jobs at Oneida is cleaning the school bathrooms. Years later, as a billionaire CEO, Jensen will say, "I clean toilets better than anyone." If you can clean toilets well, you can do anything well. It is a lesson in humility and excellence that stays with him forever. After 2 years, Jensen's parents bring the boys back to Oregon. Jensen enrolls in regular public school. He excels. He loves math and science. He is quiet but determined. By high school, he knows he wants to study engineering. He applies to Oregon State University and is accepted. At Oregon State, Jensen studies electrical engineering. He is a good student, but not exceptional. He does not party much. He focuses on his studies and works part-time jobs. In his junior year, he meets a girl named Lori. She is his lab partner. They fall in love. Jensen tells her he will marry her one day. She laughs. But he is serious. They marry young, and Lori becomes Jensen's partner in everything. After graduating in 1984, Jensen pursues a master's degree at Stanford University. Silicon Valley is booming. Startups are forming. The personal computer revolution is happening. Jensen works at AMD, a chip company, and then at LSI Logic, designing microprocessors. He learns the semiconductor business from the inside. He sees opportunities. He sees problems. And he starts thinking, what if I could build something myself? 1993. Jensen Huang is 30 years old. He is working at LSI Logic, earning a good salary, living a comfortable life. But he is restless. He has an idea. Personal computers are getting more powerful. Video games are becoming popular. But game graphics are terrible. Blocky, pixelated, slow. What if there was a chip designed specifically for graphics? A chip that could render 3D images in real time? Jensen shares his idea with 2 colleagues, Chris Malachowski, an engineer he knows from Sun Microsystems, and Curtis Preem, a graphics expert. The 3 meet at a Denny's restaurant in San Jose, California. Over coffee and pancakes, they sketch out a plan. They will start a company to make graphics chips for personal computers, not business applications, not servers, graphics. For games, everyone thinks they are crazy. The PC gaming market barely exists in 1993. Consoles like Nintendo and Sega dominate gaming. PCs are for spreadsheets and word processing. But Jensen sees the future. He believes PCs will become entertainment machines. He believes 3D graphics will revolutionize gaming. He convinces Chris and Curtis they need a name. They brainstorm. Eventually, they land on Nvidia, derived from the Latin word invidia, meaning envy. The idea: create products so good that competitors will envy them. The logo is an eye, representing vision. They file incorporation papers in April 1993. Next problem: money. The three founders have almost no capital. Jensen has $2,000 in savings. That is it. They need investors. Jensen approaches venture capitalists. Most laugh him out of the room. Graphics chips for video games? On PCs, who will buy them? But one firm believes: Sequoia Capital. Don Valentine, the legendary investor who funded Apple and Cisco, sees potential. He invests $1 million. Other VCs follow. Nvidia raises $20 million in total. It is enough to build the first chip. The challenge is enormous. Designing a graphics chip from scratch requires world-class engineering talent. Nvidia is competing against established players like S3 Graphics and ATI. They have no brand recognition. They have no customers. They have to be better, faster, cheaper, or they will fail. Jensen moves the company into a small office in Sunnyvale, California. He hires engineers. The team works 18-hour days. Jensen is everywhere. Engineering meetings, investor calls, customer pitches. He sleeps 4 hours a night. Lori, his wife, worries. But Jensen is driven. This is his shot. By 1995, Nvidia is ready to launch its first product, the NV1 graphics chip. It is innovative, featuring 3D rendering and built-in sound. But there is a problem. The NV1 uses quadratic texture mapping instead of the industry-standard triangular polygons. It is incompatible with most games. Developers hate it. The NV1 flops. Nvidia loses millions. The company is on the brink of bankruptcy. 1996. Nvidia is dying. The NV1 failed. Cash is running out. Investors are panicking. Employees are leaving. Jensen faces the biggest crisis of his life. He has two options: shut down or bet everything on one more chip. Jensen chooses to bet. He gathers the team and announces, "We are building the NV3. It will use triangular polygons. It will be compatible with Microsoft's new DirectX standard. It will be the best graphics chip on the market. But we have 6 months and limited funds. If we fail, Nvidia is dead." The team works around the clock. Engineers sleep in the office. Jensen mortgages his house to keep payroll going. Lori supports him even as their family's financial future hangs by a thread. The pressure is unbearable. But the chip comes together. August 1997. Nvidia launches the Riva 128, powered by the NV3 chip. It is a hit. The Riva 128 delivers fast 3D graphics at an affordable price. Gamers love it. PC manufacturers adopt it. Nvidia sells 1 million chips in 4 months. The company is saved, but Jensen is not satisfied. He knows one success is not enough. The graphics chip market is brutal. Competitors release new products every 6 months. If Nvidia falls behind, they die. Jensen institutes a relentless product cycle. New chips every year. Nvidia will out-innovate everyone. In 1999, Nvidia releases the GeForce 256, marketed as the world's first GPU, or graphics processing unit. The term GPU is Nvidia's invention. Before, they were called graphics accelerators. Nvidia rebrands them as processors, elevating their importance. The GeForce 256 is a monster. It handles complex 3D calculations that previously required CPUs. It transforms gaming. Titles like Quake 3 and Unreal Tournament look stunning on Nvidia hardware. The GeForce brand becomes iconic. Gamers worldwide recognize the name. Nvidia's marketing is brilliant. They sponsor esports tournaments, partner with game developers, and create a community. Gamers feel like Nvidia understands them. Nvidia's revenue grows from $50 million in 1997 to $1 billion by 2002. In 2000, Nvidia wins a major contract. Microsoft chooses Nvidia to design the graphics chip for the original Xbox console. It is a huge validation. Nvidia is no longer a scrappy startup. They are a major player, but Jensen is thinking bigger. He sees something others do not. GPUs are not just for graphics. They are massively parallel processors. They can handle thousands of calculations simultaneously. What if GPUs could be used for scientific computing? What if they could accelerate physics simulations, weather forecasting, even artificial intelligence? 2006. Nvidia is successful. GeForce GPUs dominate PC gaming. Revenue is growing. Investors are happy. But Jensen Huang is not satisfied. He has a vision that sounds insane: turn gaming GPUs into general-purpose computing devices. He announces CUDA, Compute Unified Device Architecture. It is a software platform that lets programmers use Nvidia GPUs for non-graphics tasks. Scientists can write code to run on GPUs, accelerating their research. The potential applications are endless: drug discovery, climate modeling, financial analysis. The problem? Nobody cares. Scientists use CPUs for computing. They have for decades. Why would they switch to GPUs? GPUs are for gaming, not serious work. The software tools are immature. The learning curve is steep. Nvidia's own engineers are skeptical, but Jensen is adamant. He believes in CUDA. He invests hundreds of millions developing the platform. He hires software engineers. He creates free training programs for researchers. He gives away GPUs to universities. Year after year, CUDA loses money. Investors complain. Why waste resources on a product with no market? Jensen does not budge. He tells investors, CUDA is the future. You do not see it yet, but you will. Trust me. Some investors sell their shares. Others grumble but stay. Jensen's stubbornness is legendary. By 2009, a few researchers start using CUDA. Not many, but enough to validate Jensen's vision. A Stanford team uses Nvidia GPUs to simulate protein folding, accelerating research by 100 times. An oil company uses GPUs for seismic data processing. A financial firm uses them for risk modeling. The applications are niche, but they work. Then 2012 happens. A breakthrough that changes everything. September 2012. The ImageNet competition, an annual contest for computer vision algorithms, has a shocking winner. A team from the University of Toronto led by Professor Geoffrey Hinton submits an entry called AlexNet. It crushes the competition. AlexNet achieves 15% error rate. The second-place finisher has 26% error. It is not even close. What is AlexNet's secret? It is a deep neural network trained on Nvidia GPUs. Hinton's students, Alex Krzyzewski and Ilya Sutskever, used two Nvidia GTX 580 gaming GPUs to train the model. The training takes a week. Without GPUs, it would take months or be impossible. AlexNet proves that deep learning works. It proves that GPUs are essential for AI. The AI research community explodes with excitement. Suddenly, everyone wants Nvidia GPUs. Researchers at Google, Facebook, Microsoft, Baidu, they all start using Nvidia hardware for deep learning. Demand skyrockets, but it is still a small market. Academic researchers do not buy thousands of GPUs. Nvidia's AI revenue is negligible compared to gaming. Jensen, however, sees the future. He doubles down on AI. In 2012, Nvidia releases the Kepler architecture, optimized for both gaming and computing. They follow with Maxwell in 2014 and Pascal in 2016. Each generation is faster and more efficient for AI workloads. In 2016, something extraordinary happens. Google's DeepMind uses Nvidia GPUs to train AlphaGo, an AI that beats the world champion at Go, an ancient Chinese board game considered far more complex than chess. The matches are watched by millions. AI is no longer science fiction, it is real, and it runs on Nvidia. By 2017, Nvidia's data center revenue, mostly AI-related, reaches $1 billion annually. It is small compared to gaming's $5 billion, but it is growing fast. Tech giants are building AI research labs. They need GPUs, lots of them. Jensen begins reshaping Nvidia's strategy. Gaming is still important, but AI is the future. He reorganizes the company around data centers. He builds relationships with cloud providers, Amazon Web Services, Microsoft Azure, Google Cloud. Nvidia GPUs become available for rent in the cloud. Startups that cannot afford hardware can now access Nvidia's chips on demand, but Jensen knows the real explosion is coming. He just does not know when. 2020. COVID-19 pandemic hits. The world shuts down. People are stuck at home. What do? They play video games. PC gaming explodes. Demand for Nvidia's GeForce GPUs goes through the roof. Nvidia cannot manufacture chips fast enough. Scalpers buy GPUs and resell them at 3 times the price. Gamers are furious, but Nvidia's revenue soars. At the same time, AI research accelerates. Tech companies, stuck working remotely, invest heavily in AI tools. Natural language processing, computer vision, recommendation systems, all require GPUs. Nvidia's data center revenue doubles, then doubles again. By 2021, Nvidia is riding 2 massive waves, gaming and AI. Revenue hits $26 billion. The The stock price tripled in 2 years. Jensen Huang is now a celebrity CEO. He delivers keynote speeches from his kitchen during the pandemic, wearing his signature leather jacket. The presentations go viral. Jensen becomes a meme, but something even bigger is brewing. A company called OpenAI, funded partly by Microsoft, is working on something called GPT-3, a massive language model. Training GPT-3 requires thousands of Nvidia GPUs running for weeks. The compute cost is over $12 million. OpenAI spends it all on Nvidia hardware. GPT-3 launches in June 2020. It can write essays, poems, code. It is astonishing, but GPT-3 is only available via API. Regular people cannot use it. The AI community is excited, but the general public is unaware. Then November 2022 arrives. The moment that changes everything. November 30th, 2022. OpenAI releases ChatGPT. It is a free web interface powered by GPT 3.5. Anyone can use it. Within 5 days, 1 million people sign up. Within 2 months, 100 million. ChatGPT becomes the fastest growing application in history. The response is euphoric. People are amazed. ChatGPT can answer questions, write code, draft emails, explain complex topics. It feels like magic. The media goes crazy. AI is suddenly the biggest story in the world. Behind the scenes, ChatGPT runs entirely on Nvidia GPUs. OpenAI's servers are packed with Nvidia A100 chips, the most powerful GPUs for AI training and inference. Every ChatGPT query is processed by Nvidia hardware. As usage explodes, OpenAI needs more GPUs, urgently. But it is not just OpenAI. Google releases Bard, their ChatGPT competitor. Microsoft integrates GPT-4 into Bing. Meta announces LLM, their open-source language model. Anthropic launches Claude. Suddenly, every tech giant is in an AI arms race. And they all need the same thing, Nvidia GPUs. Demand for Nvidia's chips goes supernova. The A100, priced at $10,000, is sold out everywhere. Lead times stretch to months. Companies place orders for thousands of chips at a time. Google orders hundreds of thousands. Microsoft orders hundreds of thousands. Meta, Amazon, Tesla, all scrambling for Nvidia GPUs. Jensen Huang is ready. For 15 years, since CUDA launched in 2006, Nvidia has been building the infrastructure for this moment. They have the chips. They have the software. They have the ecosystem. No competitor is close. Nvidia's stock price, which was $120 in January 2023, hits $200, then $300, then $400. By May 2024, it exceeds $1,000 pre-split. Nvidia becomes the most valuable company in the world, worth over $3 trillion. Jensen Huang, the immigrant kid who cleaned toilets, is now worth over $100 billion. He is the 30-something richest person on Earth, but he is not slowing down. He sees decades of growth ahead. March 2023. Nvidia launches the H100, the successor to the A100. It is a beast. Built on TSMC's 4-nanometer process, the H100 delivers 6 times the AI performance of the A100. It has 80 billion transistors. It costs $25,000 to $40,000 per chip, depending on configuration. The H100 becomes the most sought-after chip in history. Every AI company wants them. Cloud providers need them. Startups beg for allocation. Nvidia cannot make them fast enough. TSMC, the Taiwanese chipmaker, is running factories at full capacity. But demand still exceeds supply. Nvidia implements allocation systems. Customers must sign long-term contracts. Startups with venture funding get priority. Cloud providers get bulk deals. Nvidia is choosing winners and losers in the AI race. It is unprecedented power for a chip company. The H100 is so powerful that training a large language model, which used to take months, now takes weeks. Inference, running the model to generate outputs, is 10 times faster. This acceleration enables new applications, real-time AI assistance, video generation, protein folding, autonomous vehicles. But the H100 has competition. AMD, Nvidia's longtime rival, releases the MI300, an AI chip they claim matches the H100. Google designs its own chip, the TPU version 4. Amazon builds custom AI chips. Microsoft partners with AMD. Everyone is trying to break Nvidia's monopoly. Jensen Huang is unfazed. Nvidia's advantage is not just hardware. It is the software ecosystem. CUDA has 15 years of development. Millions of developers know how to program Nvidia GPUs. Switching to AMD or custom chips means rewriting code, retraining teams, debugging new systems. It is costly and risky. Nvidia's moat is deep. In 2024, Nvidia announces the B100, the next generation chip. It promises another 5 times performance boost. It will cost even more, and companies will pay. Because in the AI race, speed is everything. Whoever trains models faster wins. Nvidia's dominance creates a geopolitical problem. The United States government views AI as a national security priority. Advanced AI chips could be used for military applications, surveillance, autonomous weapons. The U.S. does not want China to have access to cutting-edge AI hardware. In October 2022, the Biden administration imposes export controls. Nvidia cannot sell its most advanced chips, the A100 and H100, to China. The rules are strict. Any chip meeting certain performance thresholds is banned. China represents a massive market. Alibaba, Tencent, Baidu, all Chinese tech giants are major Nvidia customers. The export ban costs Nvidia billions in potential revenue. Jensen Huang is furious but compliant. Nvidia designs downgraded chips, the A800 and H800, that meet U.S. export rules. They are slower but still valuable. China is not happy either. The Chinese government views the export controls as an attempt to cripple China's AI development. They push domestic chip companies like Huawei to build alternatives. But Chinese chips are years behind Nvidia. The technology gap is massive. By 2023, the U.S. tightens controls further. Even the A800 and H800 are banned. Nvidia's China revenue drops sharply, but global demand is so high that it does not matter. Revenue from the U.S. and Europe more than compensates. The geopolitical tension highlights Nvidia's strategic importance. Controlling AI chips means controlling AI development. Jensen Huang is no longer just a CEO. He is a power broker. Governments court him. Competitors fear him. Customers depend on him. Jensen Huang is not a typical CEO. He does not have an office. He sits in an open workspace with engineers. He does not have direct reports present him filtered information. He talks to employees at every level. He reads emails from customers. He stays close to the product. His management style is intense. Nvidia operates on a high-performance culture. Deadlines are tight. Expectations are high. But Jensen is also empathetic. He remembers cleaning toilets. He knows hardship. He treats employees with respect. Jensen is famously hands-on. He reviews chip designs. He approves marketing campaigns. He rehearses keynote presentations dozens of times. Details matter. Excellence is non-negotiable. His keynotes are legendary. He delivers them like Steve Jobs with dramatic flair. He wears the same black leather jacket every time. It is his signature. He paces the stage. He builds suspense. He reveals products with one more thing moments. The presentations are part product launch, part performance art. Jensen's vision is long-term. He thinks in decades, not quarters. CUDA took 15 years to pay off. Jensen did not waver. He invested billions when others doubted. That patience and conviction separate great CEOs from good ones. But Jensen is also pragmatic. When the NV1 failed in 1995, he pivoted. When gaming demand surged during COVID, he maximized production. He balances vision with flexibility. Jensen's relationship with his wife, Lori, is central to his success. They have been together since college. She grounds him. When the stress is overwhelming, she reminds him why they started. Lori is not involved in Nvidia's business, but she is involved in Jensen's life. That distinction matters. By 2024, Jensen is 61. He shows no signs of slowing down. Nvidia is his life's work. He plans to keep running the company for years. Succession planning is distant. Jensen believes Nvidia's best years are ahead, and he might be right. Nvidia's dominance invites challengers. AMD, the longtime rival, is trying hardest. AMD's MI300 AI chip, launched in late 2023, targets the same customers as Nvidia's H100. AMD claims better price-performance ratios. They court cloud providers with customization options Nvidia does not offer. But AMD faces an uphill battle. Their software ecosystem is weak. For OCM, AMD's answer to CUDA, has a fraction of the developer support. Companies do not want to retrain engineers. Switching costs are high. AMD wins some customers, but not many. Google takes a different approach. They design custom chips called TPUs, tensor processing units, optimized specifically for their AI workloads. Google does not sell TPUs. They use them internally and rent them via Google Cloud. TPUs work well for Google's needs. but they lack Nvidia's versatility. Amazon also builds custom chips, Trainium for training and Inferentia for inference. Like Google, Amazon uses them internally and offers them to AWS customers. The chips are cheaper than Nvidia's, attracting cost-conscious startups. But performance lags. Microsoft partners with AMD, investing in MI300 development. They plan to offer AMD GPUs on Azure, giving customers an alternative to Nvidia. But even Microsoft, one of the world's most powerful tech companies, cannot break Nvidia's grip. Intel, once the dominant chip maker, is struggling. Their AI chips, branded Habana Gaudi, are years behind. Intel's manufacturing problems delay new products. The company that ruled semiconductors for decades is now a distant follower in AI. Startups are trying too. Companies like Cerebras and Graphcore design novel AI chip architectures. Cerebras builds wafer-scale chips, massive processors that handle entire neural networks. Graphcore's IPU, Intelligence Processing Unit, uses a different parallelism model. These innovations are interesting, but scaling production is hard. Nvidia's manufacturing partnerships with TSMC are unmatched. China is the wild card. Huawei, under government pressure to replace Nvidia, develops the Ascend AI chips. They are improving, but export controls limit access to advanced manufacturing tools. Chinese chips are 2 to 3 generations behind Nvidia. Closing the gap will take years, maybe decades. Jensen Huang watches the competition but does not fear it. Nvidia's lead is enormous. Their software ecosystem is unbeatable. Their manufacturing scale is massive. Their brand is iconic. Breaking Nvidia's monopoly will require a technological breakthrough, not incremental improvements. And Nvidia is innovating faster than anyone. Nvidia's dominance raises concerns. Regulators, customers, and industry observers worry about monopoly power. If one company controls AI infrastructure, what happens when they raise prices? What happens if they favor certain customers? What if geopolitical tensions restrict access? Critics argue Nvidia's pricing is exploitative. The H100 costs $25,000 to $40,000. Manufacturing cost is estimated at $3,000. Nvidia's margins are over 80%. They are printing money. Customers have no choice but to pay. Some fear vendor lock-in. Once companies build their AI infrastructure on Nvidia's platform, switching is nearly impossible. Years of investment in CUDA-based code cannot be easily ported. Nvidia knows this. They leverage it. Antitrust concerns are growing. In the US and Europe, regulators are examining whether Nvidia's practices stifle competition. Nvidia's allocation systems, where they prioritize certain customers, raise questions. Are they abusing market power? Jensen Huang defends Nvidia's pricing. He argues R&D costs are enormous. Designing cutting-edge chips requires billions in investment. TSMC's manufacturing is expensive. Nvidia's margins fund future innovation. Without high profits, Nvidia could not stay ahead. On monopoly concerns, Jensen points to competition. AMD exists. Google and Amazon build custom chips. The market is contested even if Nvidia leads. He claims Nvidia earned its position through superior products, not anti-competitive behavior. But critics are unconvinced. They see parallels to Intel's dominance in the 90s or Microsoft's in the 2000s. Both faced antitrust actions. Nvidia might too. For now, governments are cautious. AI is seen as critical for economic and national security. Regulators do not want to weaken Nvidia if it harms AI development. But the scrutiny is intensifying. Nvidia's monopoly might not last forever. Nvidia is no longer just a chip company. Jensen Huang is building an empire that spans hardware, software, and services. The strategy is vertical integration. Control the entire AI stack. In 2023, Nvidia acquires Mellanox, a networking company, for $7 billion. High-speed interconnects are critical for AI data centers. Nvidia's GPUs need to communicate with each other. Mellanox's technology enables that. The acquisition makes Nvidia a full-stack data center provider. Nvidia also invests heavily in software. Beyond CUDA, they offer cuDNN for deep learning, TensorRT for inference optimization, and Triton for model deployment. These tools make Nvidia's hardware easier to use. They deepen the moat. Nvidia launches AI Enterprise, a software suite for businesses. It includes pre-trained models, management tools, and support. Nvidia charges subscription fees. It is a shift from one-time hardware sales to recurring revenue. Investors love it. Another frontier, autonomous vehicles. Nvidia's drive platform powers self-driving cars. Tesla, Mercedes-Benz, and others use Nvidia chips for perception and decision-making. Autonomous driving requires immense computing power. Nvidia's GPUs excel here. Nvidia also enters healthcare. Their Clara platform uses AI for medical imaging. Radiologists use Nvidia-powered tools to detect cancer, analyze scans, and diagnose diseases. It is early, but the potential is enormous. Then there is the metaverse. Nvidia builds Omniverse, a platform for 3D collaboration and simulation. Companies use it to design products, plan factories, and train robots. BMW simulates entire manufacturing plants in Omniverse. Nvidia sees the metaverse as the next computing platform. Jensen's vision is clear. Nvidia will power every major computing trend: gaming, AI, autonomous vehicles, healthcare, the metaverse. Wherever there is demand for parallel computing, Nvidia will be there. May 24, 2024. Nvidia's stock hits an all-time high. Market capitalization exceeds $3 trillion. Nvidia is now the most valuable company in the world, surpassing Apple and Microsoft. The milestone is staggering. Nvidia's value has increased tenfold in 5 years. In 2019, Nvidia was worth $100 billion. Now it is 30 times that. Shareholders who believed in Jensen are extraordinarily wealthy, but the valuation raises questions. Is Nvidia overvalued? The company's price-to-earnings ratio is high. Revenue growth is explosive, but can it continue? What happens when AI demand plateaus? Bulls argue Nvidia is still undervalued. AI is in its infancy. Language models are just the beginning. Future applications, from personalized medicine to advanced robotics, will require even more computing power. Nvidia's TAM, total addressable market, is in the trillions. Bears warn of bubbles. They compare AI to the dot-com boom. In 2000, everyone thought the internet would change everything. They were right. But valuations were insane. Many companies collapsed. Could AI follow the same pattern? Jensen Huang is characteristically optimistic. He tells investors, "We are at the start of a decades-long transition. AI will transform every industry. Nvidia's best years are ahead." His confidence is infectious. Investors believe, but Jensen also knows history. He lived through the dot-com crash. Nvidia's stock fell 80% from 2000 to 2002. The company nearly went bankrupt multiple times. Jensen does not take success for granted. He keeps pushing, keep innovating, stay paranoid. As of 2024, Jensen Huang is 61 years old. He has led Nvidia for 31 years since its founding in 1993. Few CEOs last that long. Fewer still build companies as transformative as Nvidia. Jensen's legacy is multifaceted. First, he created the modern GPU. Before Nvidia, graphics chips were niche products. Jensen elevated them, branding them as processors, making them essential. GeForce is synonymous with gaming. Every gamer knows Nvidia. Second, Jensen pioneered GPU computing. CUDA turned gaming chips into AI accelerators. It was a vision 15 years ahead of its time. Jensen invested billions when nobody believed. That patience and conviction define his leadership. Third, Jensen positioned Nvidia at the center of the AI revolution. When ChatGPT launched, Nvidia was ready. Their chips, their software, their ecosystem, everything aligned. It was not luck. It was decades of preparation. Fourth, Jensen built a culture of excellence. Nvidia's engineering is world-class. Their execution is relentless. They ship new products every year, maintaining Moore's law when others slow. That culture starts at the top. Fifth, Jensen's personal story is inspirational. The immigrant kid who cleaned toilets, who faced bullying and hardship, who bet everything on a vision, is now worth over $100 billion. It is the American dream realized. But Jensen's work is not done. He believes AI is in its infancy. The next 30 years will be bigger than the last. Nvidia will power it all. Jensen plans to stay CEO for the foreseeable future. He is healthy, energetic, and more ambitious than ever. The future of Nvidia. Today, Nvidia is the most powerful company in technology. Their GPUs power every major AI system. Google's Gemini, OpenAI's GPT-4, Anthropic's Claude, all run on Nvidia. Cloud providers depend on Nvidia. Startups build on Nvidia. Governments compete for Nvidia's chips. But the future is uncertain. Competition is intensifying. AMD, Intel, Google, Amazon all are investing billions to challenge Nvidia. Custom chips are improving. Open-source software is reducing CUDA's lock-in. Geopolitical risks loom. US-China tensions could escalate. Export controls could tighten further. A recession could reduce AI spending.